Xi Jinping currently directs the world's second-largest economy and commands a military reach that now challenges every other major power. But his story starts in 1968. While the West was experiencing an economic miracle and civil rights movements, China was bleeding from the inside out. The man at the center of this 1.4 billion-person hierarchy didn't inherit a throne. He started as a starving 15-year-old outcast, banished to sleep in a remote farming village with nothing but flea-infested beds. To understand how he survived, we have to look at the regime that broke his country. Under Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward, the government forced impossible steel production quotas on its citizens, to the point where families melted down their own cooking pots and farming tools to meet the numbers. Without tools to farm and forced to adopt fraudulent agricultural science, the harvest collapsed. Up to 40 million people starved to death in a famine created entirely by political policy. In the cities, Mao maintained control through terror. He mobilized radicalized youth groups to beat teachers in the streets and tear families apart over accusations of disloyalty. Xi's father was a high-ranking revolutionary, but a false accusation of disloyalty ruined the family overnight. Xi was thrown out of Beijing and dumped into a poverty-stricken village. He determined that his only path forward was to master the internal mechanics of the organization that had exiled him. He applied to join the party 9 times. Each rejection showed him exactly what the system required, allowing him to refine his image until the party could no longer find a reason to say no. He hauled manure and dug irrigation ditches until his hands bled. By sharing the daily hunger of the local peasants, he earned the trust of the village, eventually securing a grassroots endorsement that made his party membership inevitable. At Tsinghua University, Xi focused on reconnecting with the children of the political elite, re-establishing the ties his father once held at the top of the hierarchy. This network landed him a coveted military post in Beijing, but instead of staying in the capital, he voluntarily exiled himself to Hebei, a poor agricultural province. Beijing was a nest of ambitious men, constantly targeting each other. Rural Hebei was a vacuum. Out there, he had zero competition and no target on his back, leaving him free to build a legitimate track record of governance. He was actively avoiding the public spotlight. While his peers in the capital destroyed each other in political crossfire, Xi was executing a campaign of political camouflage. His strategy in Hebei used a 4-part model: shifting to high-value crops, providing technical training, opening direct sales channels, and issuing performance-based rewards. The results? Rural worker incomes skyrocketed from barely 60 yuan to over 2,000. He replicated this success across multiple provinces, earning a reputation as a fixer. So when Shanghai was rocked by a $400 million pension scandal in 2006, the party sent Xi to stop the bleeding. He cleaned up the corruption and restored foreign investment, securing China's propaganda victory, the 2008 Beijing Olympics. By 2012, the Communist Party needed a new general secretary. They looked at Xi's resume, decades of quiet work and 0 corruption scandals, and saw a predictable official who wouldn't disrupt their interests. In 2012, the party elders promoted him to general secretary, believing they had selected a safe leader who would keep the gears turning without challenging the status quo. The political elite quickly found they had misread the man they just promoted. He launched a massive anti-corruption campaign that vanished hundreds of top military generals and neutralized every potential political rival. By his second term, the purge was complete. He had rewired the entire Politburo so that the vast majority of its members were now his direct, unquestioning loyalists. Xi used the very rules designed to check his power to hollow out the party, replacing independent officials with a circle of loyalists answerable only to him. Then, in 2018, he secured his total dominance. He forced a rewrite of the Chinese constitution, enshrining his personal ideology as permanent law, and abolishing presidential term limits without a single dissenting vote. Xi's national transition mirrored his provincial successes. During his leadership, China's GDP grew by 111%, nearly double the growth of the United States, while securing a 30% share of global manufacturing and a monopoly over the world's green energy transition. It all tracks back to the teenager in the village. Watching Mao's regime rip itself apart taught Xi that a nation can only survive through total, unyielding control, which leaves us with the defining question of the century. Can a superpower built on centralized fear outlast a democracy? Or is a system utterly reliant on one man destined to collapse back into the chaos